However, I am exactly going to bounce off what I just said and try and give the people what they want. And this is, I suppose, the most important question. And off the back of that, I would say, if you don't have any strong answers, that's equally fine. But I'd love to give each of you maybe 1 to 2 to 3 minutes to talk about what you think people need to do in order to further drive this action. What can everybody viewing at home today do to try and be part of this change and support the work happening? And Farzana, maybe I'll start with you, if you wouldn't mind sharing any words of wisdom you might have.
Yes, so as Disha already said, there sometimes we also don't have hope, and at the same time when you ask, I know that I can't lose hope because that's the only thing I am going forward with. So that's why the people who are listening to us, the people who are following us, or the people who we are following, we all know one single thing, that small action can make a change, but we need bigger action. So when you are turning a light off so that you can save the electricity, you also need to understand where that electricity comes from. The fossil fuel, which is actually drowning my people in my country right now. So the people who are you saving by turning off a light is important. But if you're not asking, or if you're satisfied by that, okay, when doing my part, that's not enough. We need rapid action, and we need rapid action from those top 1% who are causing the climate crisis. And they are the world leaders, they are the billionaires who are profiting from our resources, and then saying that this is our fault that the global warming is happening. The thing and the emission I can do the by my like whole life, fossil fuel company can do it like an hour. So we need to understand that we need to stop fossil fuel industries. We need to ask our government to work on that, and especially from government are not taking enough action to save the world. And I'm saying it as a global southern as debt or any funds which we need to pay back. So we really ask for reparation, and as young people we are asking it, but the global leaders, the people who have this voice in this place where they can actually make the change, they also need to talk. The promises, we had enough of it with our small life. So I don't think we are ready to take more promises. We need to see action so that we don't lose our life by before actually our lifetime finish.
Thank you for sharing that. A strong call to action there. No more promises, we need action. Evelyn, maybe I'll come to you if you would like to share anything about what you think people can do, should do, what we need in the world maybe to drive this change forwards.
Thank you so much, Farzana, for your powerful answers. I was really connecting to everything, and I think I agree with what Farzana just called out to people to do. Maybe I can just add on to that. People can inform themselves, because I believe that we cannot do anything without informing ourselves, because when I didn't know about climate change, I wasn't doing anything. So I just encourage everyone to inform yourself, read about what's happening around you, why the weather patterns are changing, why the floods are happening in Africa, in South America, in Asia. Just read about it and inform yourself on how you can take action. Follow the IPCC report. It's the it has been sending reports to people and sending warnings and telling us about what's coming ahead of us and what we need to do. So just read and inform yourself, and after informing yourself, find what you can do to save the planet. You don't have to stand on the streets with a placard. You can take action where you are at your workplace. If you are a teacher, you can take off 5 minutes to educate the students about climate justice, what they can do to protect their planet. If you are a lawyer, you can help activists, provide them with legal advice or legal protection around their activism, because oftentimes so many activists are getting arrested and they have no support of all these legal resources. So you can be an activist in any way. You don't have to do what we do, or you can still join us and do what we do, because we need all of you, we need everyone to speak up, because the power is in the people and it's not in the decision making rooms. When the people rise up and speak up, when so many people join hands and we have the same language, we will be able to achieve what we are all fighting for. And I will repeat what Fazana just said. We demand a phase out of fossil fuels. Stop investing in any new fossil fuel. This is to the world leaders. Stop making empty promises. Stop making commitments and doing the opposite. Stop investing in any new fossil fuels. And we demand an upscale in renewable energy. And as the people from the Global South, we are demanding for climate finance. This finance was promised to help us in mitigation and adaptation, but we haven't seen this money. We are demanding you to provide this money for the people to be able to adapt and mitigation. And we are demanding a loss and damage facility, but it's so sad that some countries are blocking this facility. We demand this facility for the people who are already suffering loss and damage, because it's very evident that people are dying, disasters are happening.
Thank you. Definitely echoing the same sentiment there that I think most young people probably agree with, and I definitely do. So now maybe, Adriana, if you had anything that you wanted to share, anywhere you think people should look to get informed, anything you think people can do, should do, in order to help you and in order to help the movement and the planet.
I think that Farzana and Evelyn have like summed up really good that we need everyone in this fight, that there's not any single person that could not help, like get involved, help through the like help communities, help them fight and everything. I do believe that if the whole world was like the whole people in the world were activists, we will have like a really like progressive like movement, not progressive, but like taking steps forward. I do have some recommendations that are more like to-dos for a common person. You can go to your bank, see if it invests in fossil fuels, and if they do, just try to transition. Maybe if you know about climate and you know about what is happening around the world, you can go and teach children what is happening, because after all, climate education is the power to give others like action and tools to act. You can also just, as Evelyn said, inform yourself. Like you can read an article of what's happening. You can find out, but sometimes many people don't have that privilege. So if you get the access to knowledge, why don't you share it? And the last one, I would say, I had it in my mind and then I forgot. I would say that it's just join the climate movement as best as you can. We need everyone. We need many skills. We need people. We need people that have the guts to rethink the system and change it, and constantly stand against like companies or like fossil fuel industry as in polluters. So yeah, that's my take.
Thank you so much. And I'm definitely not putting you last on purpose, Disha, because of your comment earlier, but it's just the way that it's run around. So I would now come to you and ask if you do have anything you'd like to say around this subject.
I think all three of them have pretty much summed up my thoughts on this. I do believe that everyone can, like Evelyn said, every one of us can play a role in whatever our work is. Like if you're a teacher, you could teach. If you're like a lawyer, you can file litigations. So I do believe that everyone can play a role and should play a role. And most importantly, I think it's important to remember that you don't have to do anything perfectly. The internet makes it seem like there's a one way or there's like a guidebook on how to be an activist, but we're all figuring out how to do this along the way, and none of us are perfect. So I think what we need is like the whole world to be imperfect activists, so that we can achieve climate justice. Perfectionism is a capitalist myth. And we definitely need to overcome it by doing the best we can, and I do believe there'll be enough one day. I think that's pretty much all my thoughts on this.
Plenty of thoughts, thank you. And one final question I would have for all of you, and it's okay if not everybody wants to answer this, but do you have any resources, any organizations, any people, any work that you think people should be reading, looking at, watching, checking out, if they want to get more educated on either climate change or the action against it? It is okay if there is no answer. I'm sure everyone can probably find enough just by going to peaceoneday.org and checking out.
I think I can recommend, maybe you could just follow our work on Twitter, on Instagram. You'll see so much, you'll learn so much about climate change. And also I'm doing projects and collaborating with different projects at home, like the +1 Tree Project, which involves planting of fruit trees. And the target is to plant 9 million fruit trees, because fruit trees it's very hard for people to cut down fruit trees. And I'm also collaborating with the Vash Green Schools Project, which involves promotion of renewable energy in schools, and also educating children in school about climate change, and also collaborating with Girl on the Move Project initiative, which involves empowering women and girls who have been affected by the climate crisis. There's so many things you can follow when you just read about the work of different activists on their Twitter, on their Telegram. You can follow Fazana, follow Adriana, Disha's work, and you will learn so much about climate change. And there's also a book that was released by one of us. It's called The Bigger Picture, and it explains so much about climate change in Africa, how people are being impacted, and how to bring like the story of African activism to the world. So I would also recommend you to go and look for this book. It's by Vanessa Nakate, and you will learn so much about activism and climate change. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, Evelyn. And I can also recommend that you go and follow all of today's panelists on Twitter to learn more about their work. So I think that is exactly the amount of time that we had set up today. So thank you so much to all of our panelists. You can find out more about their work at peaceoneday.org. There'll be a section with the speakers of Climate Action Live. You can just click there. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of Climate Action Live 2022. And I'm sure we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you.
Bye.